What is up, RotoGrinders? Happy Friday. 90 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes of nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now. 6-gamer taking you all the way up the lock. It is my favorite kind of slate. It is a sprint slate. Thank you to FanDuel and DraftKings for not forcing us to stick around for nonsense Utah news and Phoenix 2 hours later. We're getting in, we're getting out. 2 games at 7 o'clock, 2 games 7:30, 3 games 7:30, 1 game at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Shout out to the chat. Well, I'm noticing here in the chat, myself, Bobby Gomes, two-time millionaire winner. Apparently, the chat's telling me that it's Kirky's birthday. Is that true? Can you confirm or deny? You know, are you guys close enough where you're aware when his birthday is?
I'm not aware. If it is, I'll wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Kirkwood. One of the best, Kirkwood.
Yeah, I wasn't aware if he was or was not, but or when his birthday is. But yeah, you're not going to get him anything. Just a happy birthday. That's it.
Get him a pat on the back, Dean. Nice pat on the back. Welcome to 44. You know, he's getting
metaphorical. Yeah,
I know he's 43.
Shout out to Kirkwood. I feel like I haven't seen much of him this week, but hopefully he is doing well. We don't have our normal hour and 15 minutes for banter and things of that sort. We're cut a little bit short because we're starting at 5:30. We got 6 games, plenty of time to squeeze stuff in. We have a really interesting slate. I love this slate, for the record, especially if you get news going a certain way. One game in particular, if you read the expert survey, you'll know which game I'm really, really into. Some potential body parts to monitor. Obviously, players getting chipped out, players getting chipped in. All-Star game is lurking. There's a lot of teams as far as their rotations just kind of in flux. We probably have 10 for Toronto. There's a chance we only have 8 Wizards playing basketball tonight. Actually, like in uniform. I guess it's possible. Well, we'll get into it. They have 10, and 3 of them are currently questionable. You have to dress 8. So we'll see how that's going for Washington. We don't know about Giannis. Giannis is officially questionable. He got late scratch last game. It seemed to be a real thing. It didn't seem to be nonsense. Like he hurt himself, I guess, in warmups. He had a wrap on his leg. He's officially questionable. But Atlanta also down to, I believe, 10. They're taking on the Hawks. Just 10 Hawks tonight with Hunter going out. More players coming in. But again, a lot of them have not cleared. Who else is? Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is questionable. And somewhat surprisingly, LaMelo Ball is questionable. It seems like he's back faster than expected. Also, speaking of such things, faster than expected, Chet Holmgren is back in our lives. We have not seen Chet and Hartenstein play together the entire season. And they are 20-point favorites versus the Raptors. And just should absolutely maul them. We'll see how that works out, but they're probably going to ease Holmgren in, I guess. We'll see. I think we're projecting for like 20 minutes or so. It's also, Bobby, I saved the best for last. It's a Film Friday. Film Friday, one of your favorites. I can see the excitement. It's palpable on your face. It's definitely, I can see the enthusiasm. The people know how this works. Jump in the Discord, tell me what film I'm talking about. Be the first to do so, and you get yourself a week free of RG Premium. And the first clue is small, and that is scrolling right now. Producer Steve on top of that. And now that we verbalized it, get your guesses in the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. It is a free channel. Most channels are free. There are some premium. Bobby, how's Friday? How are things working out for you?
It's good. It's been a good week. Me and the girlfriend started Lost, as I let you know. I haven't seen it. She hasn't seen it. I like it a little bit, but you're right. It's not a TV show that I can be watching on my phone. I also got into the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds thing that's going on. I'm down the rabbit hole now. A little late to that, but yeah, it's been a good week in sunny Florida.
I don't know what's going on with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. I know there's something with one of her co-stars. Is that what it's involving? In some movie that I
don't know. I don't even know how it showed up on my feed, but I got it and I just started watching it. And yeah, they like bullied the co-star. Or, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I think there's different stories. Yeah,
stories. I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like headlines, but I did not click. I did not want to go down that rabbit hole.
I tried not to click for so long, but then my girlfriend kept bringing it up. So I'm like, I gotta see. I like too, so.
She wanted to talk about it, so you had to finally dig in. Yeah, you sent me a text like a week ago or so, like at 11 o'clock at night. You're like, "What's this Lost deal?" It's like, dude, we're talking. What year is this text coming from? Lost you're asking me about?
No, I know. I always knew what Lost was. I just never felt the need to watch it. You know what I mean? What's it, Survivor? I've seen people on an island before. I just, at that point in time, that was big at the time Lost came out. And it was just like, I never was really in a Survivor. Not that it's the same thing as Lost, but like the whole island, stuck in an island thing, it doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, I think I told you to stick with it and put your phone
down. I like it. I think it's.
You're not gonna watch. Don't watch. If you're gonna, no half measures. You gotta watch that show or don't watch it. Shout out to in our chat, LMI finished 6th last night in the Mega 8, 7 points shy of 100K. Shout out to you. Nicely done. All right. Let's hey, we're back at 0.
Good job Dino in the Mega 8s. I'll tell you that much.
Say it again.
I said we won't see Dino in the Mega 8s.
Is that 888 to enter?
I think so. It's 888. Yeah, I'm not.
But it's a top loaded contest, right?
Yeah,
typically. Yeah.
And
I'm typically I would enter like a single entry 888, but I'm not going to enter, large field or no. I guess it's only so big because but. Yeah, me. I'm such a nit. I don't like playing contests that pay too much up top because I don't think I'm going to win because I think I'm trying to win, but I'm also being realistic. It's been actually a good week or a good 10 days or so. I haven't had any big wins, but just every single day it's like, oh, we're getting back 2x and we'll do that.
You're always doing well, Dean.
No, not always. Well, we have some bad streaks as well for sure. Anything big picture wise as far as the slate you want to talk about before we fully dive in of notes? There's a lot of stuff that's going to come on through. Giannis plays at 7:30. I'm really curious when we get that information. Probably going to get a game time decision at 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Maybe we get the starting lineup for Milwaukee right at 7. So I don't know, but that will be important. We saw at 1%, 2% ownership. Bobby Portis just went insane last time, and who knew? How would you didn't know? You maybe he's kind of working in your 150, that kind of thing. But he was spectacular in the absence of Antetokounmpo. We got to keep an eye on that. Cunningham again, he's questionable, which seems like a big deal. And that game is also later, 7:30 on the East Coast. We should have the big three for Philly. Maxey, PG-13, and Embiid. They have not played a ton of games together this year, but a lot of moving parts, a lot of potential blowouts, right? OKC favored by 20, Washington an 18, 19-point dog, San Antonio a 10-point favorite. Some big lines, some big spreads, and then some low totals. Miami and Brooklyn 210. I think this is a good one. I feel good about this one, Bobby. If there was an 888 single entry, I would love to enter it tonight, but that's not top heavy. But anything you got before we fully dive in?
Yeah, the Wizards Cavs game. I think I'm probably on the same game as you. Bub Carrington chalk makes me a little nervous. I get that he played 35 minutes with the potential to play 40 tonight. He's going to handle the ball a ton. I just don't know. Chalk's been busting in NBA of late, so maybe a guy I take less than the field stand on, I think, currently. I also think that guys like Dyson Daniels and De'Aaron Fox, and end up in they're in different situations now. I mean, not Dyson Daniels, but with Bogdanovich out of Atlanta, I think he gets a usage bump. I like him in that Milwaukee game. De'Aaron Fox, I think, is another guy that you can play at shooting guard to get off of a guy like Carrington. He's going up against Charlotte. So just little thoughts that I have about the slate.
Fox had a big role in his debut, 37 minutes, 29.4% usage. He had 13 assists. He was very heavily involved in that offense. So I do like the Fox call. Maybe we haven't fully adjusted to that. We talked about how Fox might lose some minutes. Coming from Sacramento teams, they tend to condense their minutes a little bit more. Their bench is not as good, but at least after one game, he played 37 in his debut. So, yeah, if we can get 35, 36, 37 going forward, that's pretty interesting. Okay. Speaking of San Antonio, Charlotte, 230.5. That is the total. Charlotte is a 10-point dog here at home. We are expecting Connect to play, right? He's one of the, or no, is Connect available? Yeah, I'm seeing him. Is he not in the pool?
Connect?
I should know. Yeah, well, Connect was involved in the Mark Williams trade. Mark Williams traded to the Lakers. I don't think he's in the pool. Yeah, that's what it is. He's not in the pool.
Yeah, he's not in the pool.
That's why he's showing up. If you look at the lineups page, he's like, his name is like faded out. So, yeah, I know. I was looking in. Is he in the FanDuel pool? Is that what? Yeah, he's on FanDuel. That's what it was. I knew I saw him earlier today. I was looking at some FanDuel stuff. Okay. He is available on FanDuel. He's 4.7. He was the key piece. I guess the key piece is probably the draft pick, depending on who you ask. Coming over in the Mark Williams trade. We did mention LaMelo is questionable, which is definitely a big deal. Is Connect officially in? He's questionable on the injury report for what it's worth. So I don't know if he's officially been cleared to play. I'm looking at Charlotte's injury report as of 5:30. Josh Green is doubtful. Mann, of course, is out. Miller's out. Oh, Yusuf Nurkic also questionable. My guess is he doesn't play. Reddish is not with the team. So, yeah, kind of a mess here as far as Charlotte. San Antonio, pretty clean. Nothing new. Just, backup five. Bassi is out. Everybody else is available. How do we feel about the Spurs and the Hornets?
For me, it's pretty much Wemby, LaMelo, and Fox. That's kind of the guys that I have exposure to currently. You talked about Fox and his huge usage rate in the first game. I think it's a good spot to go back at Fox. I prefer him at shooting guard if I'm getting away from some Bub Carrington. Wemby, I think he's, if you're thinking about fading one of Joel or Giannis, because a lot of the value is going to allow you to pay up for both, and I think that's kind of the build structure currently. I think Wemby's a great pivot as always. Massive ceiling for Wemby. Mark Williams no longer there for Charlotte. And then I guess you can throw in Musa Diabate with Mark Williams being thrown out of there to LA. It's a good matchup for Diabate versus the Spurs, so he would be the value play that I'd have some interest in and is going to make my pool in this game.
You think it's a good matchup? I don't know if I like the matchup here. I mean, he should be out there a good bit. There maybe it doesn't matter, just compiling minutes. I don't necessarily love the matchup. Although defensively, San Antonio they've been giving it up. So yeah. But like the Wemby matchup, specific, macro versus micro, I suppose. But I guess on the whole, San Antonio is not the best defensive team. I am pulling up our if-then. We do have an if-then set up, I believe, for Ball. We do. Yeah, so Bridges would really jump off the page. He would project really well. He would all of a sudden get a ton of, more stuff tasked his way, more usage. Diabate, we got to project it for 28 minutes. That might be the case right now. What are we projecting for him? He may or may not start. We're giving him 27, so I guess he would go up 1. Bridges would get the same amount of minutes, just more usage. Smith would look good, and then Kenneth Simpson would get around 24 fantasy points as a median projection. Right now, it's somewhere in 16ish or so. He's no longer 3K, but he would become a little bit more interesting. There's a lot of scrubs available in the slate, so I'm not sure if I would prioritize him as a top scrub, but certainly amongst the options of scrubs. Anything else? Do you have a thought as far as if Ball is out? You have are we obviously going to bump up Bridges? His projection would certainly jump up. The threat of a blowout would heighten as well. We may see Taj Gibson start. Don't play Taj Gibson, obviously. Just noting it.
I do think you would bump Bridges in that case and Nick Smith. But for KJ Simpson, I feel like you kind of describe it the best. There's better value. Diabate would also get a boost as well if Ball were to sit. But I like you said, there's more of a case of an absolute blowout in that scenario. What do you give Ball to play tonight? What do you think he's going to play?
25%.
Yeah,
I don't think he plays. But he was at shoot-arounds. I just don't know why they would push it, right? And like he seems to have come back earlier than anticipation. It's surprising that he's questionable. The All-Star game is lurking. It's not that far away. Like, the break, I don't know why they would. What's their incentive to do that? Unless he's just fine, which is possible. It's his ankle again. Historically, it's just like a body part that's been dinged multiple times, right? But I don't know. We will know because, this is the first game or one of the first games at 7:00. My guess is he doesn't play. So
I think he's less than 50% to play, but better than 25% to play.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's that's fine. But if I had to guess, you want to ask Mr. Predicto?
I think he's closer to 50% to play than
we can ask Mr. Predicto.
40s somewhere. He's in the 40s.
Bobby, you have no interest in Mr. Predicto?
Do Mr. Predicto, Dean.
We can ask. I mean, Mr. Predicto knows. At least a 50-50 shot. Will LaMelo Ball play tonight? No. Well, there you go. That was easy.
Okay. We trust Mr. Predicto.
Okay. I mean, it's been written. He's not going to play. Every once in a while, Mr. Predicto will give you these kind of like maybe not. Ask me later. That was a definitive no. So I feel pretty confident now. It's been taken off the board and on DraftKings and FanDuel. Just word's out. You can no longer bet if he's going to play or not. Speaking of players playing or not, Cleveland and Washington, 239.5 is the total. Washington down to 10 as of right now. We might lose more because they have 3 that are questionable. Those 3 that are questionable: Brogdon, Champagnie, Rashawn Holmes. Joval, of course, was shipped away. I guess Alex Len is coming, but he's not going to be available. So they might be down to 8. It's possible they're down to 7 and one guy just like dresses and just chills and can't play. My guess is at least one of these 3 is available amongst Brogdon, Champagnie, and Holmes. But yeah, they have 10 and probably going to lose at least 1. And the other part of this game is that Cleveland, who's good and should crush Washington, they're also down to 10. So they're down to 10 points, 10 players. Karis LeVert got traded away, which he played his worst game ever in the history of his Cavaliers stretch. 0 for 7, 0 for 8 when he was super, super chalky. He was horrendous that game. And Atlanta said, yeah, we need some of that. We got to trade for that guy. Sam Merrill is also out. Donovan Mitchell, he is probable. Niang was traded away. He's out the door. No Okoro. No D Wade. D Wade, of course, is out as well. So, Bobby, all these guys for the Cavs: Allen, Mobley, Strus, Mitchell, Garland, playable. To me, one of the best cheapies in the slate is Ty Jerome. And it's not just that he projects fine right now. So, Bobby, let's say Cleveland beats Washington by 27 or 20. Like, basically, the line is 17-18. And sometimes Jerome, like the shellacking is too hard where he doesn't mop. But he mops tonight, no matter how ugly this game gets, right? They're down to 10. They're not going to play Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Mobley, Allen in the blowout. They got 10 dudes. If it's a 30 or 40-point game, Ty Jerome is out there till the buzzer. It's not like remember Hoosiers? Hoosiers, like, you can play with 4. They want to teaches somebody a lesson. It doesn't work that way. You got to stick with 5. And he's one of those 5. Hammond, Porter, Tyson, Tristan Thompson, and Bates. So this game is amazing. It can get even more amazing potentially if Washington loses a couple players. But it sounds like you're excited about it as well. Talk to me about the Cavs and the Wiz. Yeah,
Ty Jerome is probably my favorite value on the slate. Just for that reason, like he's gonna end up getting mop-up minutes even in a blowout. I feel like he's a comparable play like in these spots like a TJ McConnell or a Peyton Pritchard. So I'm fine with a guy like Jerome, especially if people are just going to play Bub in terms. I think Bub will probably be higher owned, and Bub's a play I want to get off. Even though they have, I'm not going to fade Bub completely, but I don't think that I'm going to have nearly as much as the field's going to have above Carrington tonight. I think that Evan Mobley is a very interesting play. He's somewhat, I feel like out of the Cavs, he's the one that people aren't going to go to. They'll go to Mitchell. They'll go to Garland. They'll go to Jerome. Strus is going to be a value play. There's a lot of pieces for these Cavs, and you can beat the Wizards at the rim, and guys like Mobley and Allen will kind of be lost in the shuffle. So fine with getting to those two. And then on the other side, Carrington's chalk, but what about Coulibaly, Keontae George? I think these guys are right in the same, like what's really, I'm fine with playing both those guys instead of Carrington if Carrington's going to be so much more highly owned. And then Jordan Poole, what if he takes all the shots? I know that they 8 players in the rotation tonight. Like Carrington got all the minutes the other night, 35 minutes. He could see 35. He could see more than 35 minutes tonight. But he's the piece of chalk that I have question marks with. So I think I'm going to go other places.
So it could be 10. It could also be 8. We're waiting, right? So it's possible it's down to 8, which means if that's the case, 2 of these starters would mop, right? We're currently projecting Richaun Holmes to start. It's certainly possible he doesn't play. He's questionable. Vucevic is somebody, one of my favorite cheapies in the board, is pretty interesting. Gill is another big, but we're not expecting a ton of minutes out of him. Vucevic is like he's center and center only, which is kind of annoying, but I think he's a really awesome, interesting piece. He's a guy that like for sure would mop fantasy point minute. What we've seen so far. The matchup isn't good, but
I think he's 1.12 fantasy points per minute.
Yeah, I mean it's a sample we have. The matchup is bad, but probably it would be against Tristan Thompson if things get really ugly, but he's going to have to get some run. What if Richaun Holmes is out? What if he's one of those guys that can't play? He's going to be tasked to play a ton. The other part of that is like Mobley and Allen should be really, really good against them too. So I like every facet of this game. You mentioned Poole, sure. Love Poole. I wrote in the survey today, this is the plan. We'll see how it goes down. Planning on playing 2 of in every lineup, I'm gonna have 2 Wizards and 2 Cavs. I think every lineup I make, I'm gonna have 2 and 2 to the old love connection. Feel pretty good about both of those guys working out for me. Like everybody, I like everyone. You mentioned Carrington. He's like the best math play. He's expected to play minutes 30 plus, over 50% ownership currently. Poole at 23%, George at 20, Holmes at 20. I prefer Vucevic over Holmes. Holmes is ill, and Vucevic is just he's been a better fantasy point minute player this year. I imagine if they both play, they'll basically chop the center minutes. I think that's what our projections have, and then we have Gill playing a few as well. But if this game gets ugly, and it seems like it probably will, you never know, but it seems like it will, it's going to be Vucevic, almost definitely closing over Holmes. Yeah, I just love it. I think Kispert is a guy that can score like 25 points off the bench. He's got to be in your pool as well. We get notifications here. This is for Saturday. Okay. I was hoping to get something for this game so we can talk about it, but I like everyone. I don't know how much I like Brogdon or Simpenny. Like Brogdon's questionable right now, but I just really, really like this game. I'm going to, bounce different combinations. Different combinations. I'm going to play Mobley, going to play Mitchell, Allen. You could play Jalen Tyson, right? And again, if Washington is down to 8, Bobby, now we're not sure if that's the case, but or even if it's 9, one of their starters has to close too. It's not going to be Poole. It could be Carrington. It could be George. I don't think it'll be Holmes because I think Vucevic should be in there. But just something to note. There's just less outs. There's less outs for this to go bad. Is sort of the way I see it. Anything else you got as far as Cleveland and Washington?
No, that's pretty much it. Was Brogdon ruled out, or is he?
No, he's questionable. Yeah, he's questionable.
I don't think Brogdon plays. I'd be very surprised if Brogdon played.
Well, it's weird because like they were supposed to trade him, right? Like, why is he still on the team?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess he's lost his value as well. But yeah, so they're asking about Toronto, and that's a good question. We'll talk about Toronto because they're similar. Toronto's in a similar boat as Washington. Washington could be a little bit more extreme. Second clue for Film Friday is utensil. Yeah, we're a little bit behind in the clues. I see chat talking about it. Nobody's guessed the film just yet. It is not Knives Out. That is a great guess, though. I'm just jumping in the Discord. Little Giants is a fun guess, though it's not Little Giants, and the annexation of Puerto Rico. Remember that play? Maybe we'll see that in Super Bowl Sunday. You never know. Let's move on. Let's move on to game 3. It is Milwaukee and Atlanta. 243, Bobby. 243 is the total. Atlanta's a 6-point dog. They're currently with 10 dudes. Who's in, who's out? We mentioned they lost Hunter. This is a 7:30 game, by the way. Hunter is gone. Buffkin, of course, is out. No Capella. They're supposed to trade him. Never happened. Bones has not arrived just yet. Karis LeVert's not arrived just yet. No Niang. He's not arrived just yet. David Roddy's just not with the team. Okay, hopefully things are well in his life. Jalen Johnson out for the season. They're just down. They're down bad. Atlanta, as far as Milwaukee, the big one, of course, for them is Giannis. Giannis is questionable. Connaughton also questionable. Kuzma is questionable. And, maybe we'll get the debut from Kuzma. Lillard officially probable with his groin. Lopez probable with his knee. KPJ, I think I saw he was not available today. They traded for him. But, yeah, a lot of moving parts here, Bobby. The biggest one is, will Giannis play? I don't know. 50-50? 50-50? And I want that information. That's the only thing I'm afraid of, Bobby, with having too much Cleveland, Washington, is Giannis gets ruled out at 7:01,
I think Giannis has about a 75% chance to play tonight, Dean.
Okay. You know what? You know what we should do? You know what we should ask?
Predict.
Let's ask Mr. Predicto, will Giannis Antetokounmpo play tonight?
You can rely on that.
Oh, there you go. He's going to play.
Yep. In that case, I like Giannis. I think the field will like Giannis. Dyson Daniels is the one that from on the Atlanta side that I have a lot of interest in, especially playing him at shooting guard, where I think Bub Carrington's going to be overowned. Bobby Portis, I think, is a fine play. Onyeka Okongwu.
Big game last time.
Big game last time out. So, yeah, I'm fine with Onyeka. I like Lillard if Giannis were to sit. Even if Giannis plays, I like Lillard. I don't know if I want to play them together. Really good spot for Trae Young, Ricochet, these guys, the outside shooters for Atlanta. I don't mind either as like Ricochet as a value. And then Trae, I think that he has a pretty good ceiling in the spot relative to most nights where I just can't stand to play him.
It was interesting. I was looking at the on-off stuff, and I'm not saying you should follow this per se, but I was thinking about Trae Young, and he projects really well. But if you kick Jalen Johnson and Hunter off the court, he takes a backwards bump. He gets downgraded as far as he lost almost 0.2 fantasy points per minute. Oh, LaMelo's in. I'm being told LaMelo's in from Steve. Wow, that's the upset of the. What did Mr. Predicto say?
I guess I was closer, Dean. I was in the 40s with my prediction, and you were at 25.
Mr. Predicto said he wasn't going to play, right?
Yeah, Mr. Predicto said he wasn't going to play.
Should I just throw his thing? Should I ask for a refund? That's full. I could show him the video. This is proof. Maybe mine is broken. I don't know. Unbelievable. That's I'm not happy. But Bones Highland, by the way, waived. Bones Highland. Let's see. Are we sure that's LaMelo officially in? Okay. Josh Green out.
Not trust Steve?
Say it again.
Do you not trust Steve?
No, I do. I just didn't get it. And I was like, oh, why didn't I get that? And then it popped up just a little bit on delay. But I was Mr. Predicto's been banned for the rest of the show. I was gonna ask Super Bowl predictions out of Mr. Predicto. That's it. Unless you want to think maybe it's gonna redeem itself. All right. So really tight rotation expected here from Atlanta. Again, they're down to 10. We're projecting all 10 to play, but that's Muhammad Gay, Mr. Plowden gets 7 minutes. Gay gets 3 minutes. Wallace 15. It's a really tight rotation. Gary Bird, Matthews. Again, they're down to 10. So if this game gets ugly, it's possible. He's a mopper. Nance is a mopper. Well, I shouldn't say that because we have Barlow projected to start. which he might be a starter / mopper. I don't know. I like Barlow. I don't think he projects great. I don't know how many minutes he can actually play. We're giving him 19 for the record. So, yeah, Trae Young should be asked to do a lot, as will Daniels be asked to do a lot. I was a little bit thrown aback by what he's done so far without Hunter and Johnson, but I'm not going to freak out about it. That doesn't mean you can't play him. Just thought it was interesting because I was like, oh, is this going to bump up, isn't it? I meant to keep digging in. I assume it was an efficiency thing. Like I'm assuming the usage was there, just he wasn't efficient. That's my guess. More news sprinkling in here, Bobby. Okay, so Connect and Nurkic not available for Charlotte's. Okay, so what are they down to? They still have plenty, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have at least 10. They signed Elf Payton? Did I miss that? Elf Payton's on their team? Good for Elf.
Team's Elf
right.
on?
What's that?
What team's Elf on, did you say? According
to our lineups page, he's on Charlotte.
Nope.
I missed that. Did not see that. But yeah. If Giannis is in, he's awesome and probably the best big spend in the slate. That's basically where I am at. Yeah, Elf got a 10-day contract. Thank you for that, Steve. Just missed it. Of course, if Giannis is out, Lillard's going to look awesome, and Portis is a smash play. But I just don't know when we're going to get this news.
What do you do with Giannis? Are you grouping them away from each other?
Giannis and Lillard?
Giannis and Portis.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like if you don't know, if it's 7 o'clock, you don't know. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I would say, yeah, I think that's a good approach. I like it. And Portis isn't like terrible, even if Giannis is in, he's like fine. Theoretically, they both can get there. Are we projecting Kuzma in? We are. Okay. Has he officially been in? I think he is. I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys that's actually cleared and expected to play some ball. Final
Kuzma,
word. Okay.
Yeah, those two.
Say it again.
Kuzma would probably eat into one of Portis or Giannis. Somewhere.
I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but yeah, like we're expecting Kuz to start at the 3, which makes sense. And we're also projecting it Andre Jackson, but I don't really care about the wing guys, right? I don't care about Jackson and Prince and Trent and Green. Those guys to me don't matter today. Even if Giannis is out, I don't think those guys really matter. I just want to focus on Lillard, Portis, and I guess Kuzma as well. Anything else here? Atlanta, Milwaukee?
That's it, Dean.
All right. We are a little pressed for time, though, it appears. So let's go ahead and give the third clue to the people for Film Friday. The third clue is scrolling as we speak. It is chill. Small, utensil, and chill. Those are our 3 clues. Again, jump in the Discord. Tell me what movie we're talking about to get yourself a week free of RG Premium. I think this is a catch-me-up game. You tell me otherwise. The Heat, the Nets, 210 is the total. Not very exciting. We're looking at what Miami is like about a 5 or 6 point favorite here in Brooklyn. Wiggins is not going to play, right? It's funny. I didn't even like Miami. I didn't even bother with today. Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did not clear. Who's in? Who's out for Miami and Brooklyn? Well, Claxton's good to go for Brooklyn. Clowney, of course, is still out. Ben Simmons not with the team. Supposedly he's going to be I can't remember the team now that was thinking about picking him up. Doesn't matter. Cam Thomas, he's going to be gone. As far as the Heat, Kevin Love is questionable. He's got a head cold. Highsmith good to go. Jovic good to go. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. I don't think he's available just yet. And Wiggins, it still says trade pending. So I presume those guys are not available. I don't like this game. And neither does the field, right? Most popular player in this game is Hero. Hero at 15%, Bam around 15%. Jovic, I think Jovic is a pretty good cheapie. We're giving him about 30 minutes or so. Price is up a little bit, but he's been, justifying it. They added Mitchell as well. Basically, yeah, but he's not available tonight. That's a warning to Terry Rozier, who's been horrendous all season. Do you like this game? I don't have a lot to say about Miami Brooklyn. I'm kind of sort of just crossing this one out. and hopefully like Hero or Bam doesn't put up like 60 points.
Yeah, Jovic at 5,200 and Russell at 6,400 would probably be my two favorite plays. Don't think I'm going to get to much Bam or Tyler Hero. But other than that, I feel like it's a catch-me-up game.
Javier in the chat, yeah, Utah Phoenix not in the slate. We're not talking about Utah Phoenix. Thankfully, that game starts at 10 o'clock, and both FanDuel and DK dropped it. Yahoo, I believe, did include it. Yahoo insists on having every single game on every single slate. That's just how they roll. That's just how they do it. We'll go ahead and drop this fourth clue. It's not Frozen. Lots of people guessing Frozen. Good guess. Or The Karate Kid or Cool Runnings. Or Batman Forever. Lots of movies getting thrown out there. But we'll drop the fourth clue for the people. And that clue is waffle. Waffle is the fourth clue. So, all right. Now I believe we are caught up. About 20 minutes or so until crunch time comes in. We got 2 games less. Let's see everything else on Miami Brooklyn. I think Ware is an interesting flyer for tournaments. He had a weird game last time out where he was scoreless, but the rebounds are there. He certainly can get up there in stocks. He certainly can hit his threes, but wasn't taking a lot of shots. And I think he missed every single shot he took. He did because he had 0 points. And
I like the Ware call. I like the Cattell Ware call for sure.
It's an undersized Brooklyn team as well. Claxton and Watford, Sharp, and they have some bodies up there, but I like I just like Ware as a prospect, and he can also step out and hit threes, which I'm a big fan of that. Philadelphia, Detroit, 228 is that total. Philadelphia is a 5-point favorite as far as who's in and who's out for this one. Well, pulling up the injury report. I want to get this precise. Drummond was downgraded to doubtful. He doesn't matter. He never really matters, but he definitely doesn't matter now that Embiid's playing. Embiid played a ridiculous 36 minutes in his first game back. You really can't project that, but that was interesting. Yabusele is questionable too, so it's possible they're down 2 of their bigs in Drummond, who seems almost definitely out, officially doubtful, and Yabusele is questionable. What is his body part? He's got a knee. And Paul George is good to go with his finger. As far as Detroit, well, this is tricky again because it seems like there's an actual chance that Cunningham's going to miss this game. He's questionable with his ankle. You got the Tobias Harris revenge game. Malik Beasley's questionable. No, he's probable with his shoulder. Dennis Schroeder has not arrived just yet. He's in route. He got traded like 3 or 4 different times. Lindy Waters, the third, also not available. At some point, those guys will show up. I think he's out, right? Lindy Waters, yes, he's out on the injury report. Of course, Jaden Ivey probably out for the season. It's kind of an if-then with Cunningham. I think Cunningham's interesting tournament play. When will we get that news? I don't know, but it is important. Let's see. Quentin Grimes is available to play for the Sixers today. There you go. Grimey is available for Philadelphia. How do you have Philly and Detroit? And the Embiid thing is tricky, man. They jumped him up 2K on FanDuel. I think it was like 8-6. Now he's 10-6. We talked about him being a good FanDuel play last time out. We're projecting 33 minutes, though. So 33, that's a pretty healthy number. And we've seen him pass it, although I don't think they want him to play 36 minutes. I can't imagine. Philly, what do you got?
I don't think he plays 36 again tonight. Especially if Cade ends up sitting and they blow them out. Like, it's just a way to try to get him off the court, I would say. Which I think that Cade is less than 50% to play tonight, Dean. What say you?
Well, I mean, I want to ask Mr. Predicto, but like we've just proven, at least in a small sample, that it might be garbage. I think it's like a legit 50-50 though. Why do you say less than 50? You don't reading the tea leaves. You think he's not going to play? He's legit hurt.
I'd give him about 46% to sit, Dean.
I'm going to give Mr. Predicto a chance at redemption. Mostly because I'm feeling bad. I feel like I wasted my $20. All right. Will Cade Cunningham play basketball tonight? All right, here we go.
It's been determined so.
Oh, there you go. He's going to play.
Wrong again, Dean. Wrong again.
We'll see. What was the second answer? He was answering about Giannis, right? Giannis in or out. I've not been tracking him. But, all right. If he doesn't play, we have an if-then set up. If we lose Cade, Our if then is as follows. Beasley would get a big boost. Like Sasser would be available. He'd be a pretty big boost. How much is Sasser? Is he like 3K? He is 3K. And his projection will be around 23 points, 25 minutes as a median projection. Tobias Harris would have a 32 point projection, which would be a positive play. All-Star Thompson would jump up to 29 minutes and a 26 point projection. I don't know if there's like one clear guy. I guess the biggest bump is the Sasser. Yeah, actually, you know what? If you could sort by change, let's see. Yeah, Sasser gets a 53% bump. Beasley, of course, gets a really significant bump up to 34 DK points, 32 on FanDuel as a median projection. If we happen to lose Cunningham, yeah, is this something where it's the last? Not the last game. There's one game behind it, but how much are you saving spots for? I guess this is in conjunction with Giannis. If you get the exact box correct with Giannis and Cunningham, and they're both out, that could be the problem. If they're both out after the 7 o'clock window, I might have too much
I
Cleveland.
already told you Giannis is playing, Dean. I already told you Giannis is playing. It's Cade I'm worried about. I think not Amen Thompson, but Oscar Thompson would be my favorite play at 4,500.
Yeah, second best Thompson in the league.
Second best Thompson in the league, correct?
Tristan Thompson's is angry about that. He's very upset. Is there another Thompson? Clay. What about Clay's not happy either?
Yeah, Clay's not happy. Clay's getting long in the tooth, though, right?
He has once every 10 games he scores 30 points in the first quarter.
He played good last night for a little bit, right?
Was it last night? He's done it a couple times this year where he scores like 20 points in the first quarter. And it's like, yeah, remember I used to do this? And it might have been yesterday or the day before. It all kind of blends together.
He played well last night, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember practice.
So how much are we into Sasser? How much are we into Beasley if we happen to lose Cunningham? Because they don't really have much for point guards beyond Cunningham. They're pretty thin, right? I mean, they have Dennis Schroeder coming in. I guess it's Sasser.
I guess it is. It would be Sasser. Like I said, though, I think for me, Osser's the play. That's how I'm rolling with it. I just think I'm rather take the young athletic guy that they actually have like some stake in terms of like their franchise. He's actually a piece, I would say.
Jay Swift in the Discord saying it was last night that he lit it up in the first half. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. And yes, I know he did not actually get the 30 points. Thank you for taking me so literally in the chat. He might have scored 20 in the first half. I apologize for the first quarter. I know Roth besmirched them, and he dropped like 20 on Roth's head in the first quarter about a week ago or so. But it's kind of wait and see.
Right though, Dean. Roth, for a weatherman, meteorologist, Roth's gotten a lot of calls right on Crunch Time.
Oh yeah, no, I was not knocking. Yeah, he is. And I've done it before. He was besmirching Clay, and I just, like you say, he's long in the tooth. Not that he was ever really much of a dribbler, but he just really doesn't really create his own shots these days. But every once in a while, he gets going. Variance in his favor. It looks like Giannis is out. We got the news on Giannis.
Oh, okay. No, really?
Kuzma in, Jericho Sims in, Giannis out.
I could have sworn he was going to play.
Wait, what did Mr. Predicto say? I forgot. He said out, right?
He said out, yeah.
Redemption for Mr. Predicto. You besmirched. So it's almost like 50-50 for something that's completely random. All right. We got the rubber match. I think he said Cunningham I wasn't keeping track. I forget what Cunningham is. But, okay, so now everybody's going to play Bobby Portis. And maybe I'm not playing. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'm not playing 2-2 for sure. Cleveland, Washington. Especially the things might shake up for Toronto. Toronto and OKC. Scheduled blowout. Let's drop that fifth clue. Let's drop that fifth clue for the people because we got to get a winner before crunch time comes in. And nobody's won just yet, right? No. I'm scrolling on through. The fifth clue is buy. So small, utensil, chill, waffle, and buy. That is our 5 clues, and I suspect maybe we'll get the winner coming in here shortly. If not, I have some bonus clues if necessary. So scheduled blowout here, Toronto at OKC, 228.5. That is the total. This is the front half of a back-to-back for OKC for what it's worth. There are 4 teams in the front half. I should have mentioned that. 0 teams on the back half. No teams in the back half of a back-to-back, but the Spurs, the Wiz, the Hawks, and the Thunder all play tomorrow. As far as who's in and who's out for this one, well, there are some pieces in shambles for Toronto. RJ Barrett, of course, is still out. I guess PJ Tucker ended up there, but I don't know if he's actually going to play for them. Brandon Ingram, of course, not available just yet. They traded for No Pirtle. He's got that hip. They did trade for James Wiseman, who's out for the season. OKC, they did sign Mitchell, but he's, of course, not playing either. And their injuries are pretty clean. It's just Kason Wallace because we have Chet Holmgren off the injury report. He is back. I would not play him. I can't imagine playing him. Toronto is down to, I want to say 10. We're showing 11 on the matchups page, but Orlando Robinson, I do not believe, was renewed as far as his 10-day contract. So I think we're down to 10. So it's the same deal as, Cleveland. If this game blows out, and it looks like a blowout, just the other side of it, we got to have 5 guys mopping up for Toronto. And one is like Garrett Temple. I think Shed is an interesting one. The most interesting conversation for me in this game is Boucher Magbo. I don't know which of those 2 starts. I think they're both interesting. They played like 300 minutes together. So I was thinking maybe splitting them off, Bobby. But they will play them together sometimes. So am I right to say that, Walter, Dick, those guys are playable too? They're going to be tasked with playing a lot of minutes, especially if this game plays tight. Agbaji would be a guy that would mop up, presumably off the bench. Do you have a take as far as Magbo versus Boucher?
I lean Magbo. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I really don't know if I should group them away from each other or not. Currently, I don't have a group where they're split. I mean, they're 3,100 and 3,400. Like, you really need to split them. So I guess you could play them together. Grady Dick at 4,300. I think at the shooting guard position, which, like I said, I didn't love Carrington. Feel like he could get a bunch of usage in this scenario. Jamal Shed at 3,500. Those would be my favorite Toronto Raptors. And I do think, like you said, this is probably a scheduled blowout.
Yeah, I mean, OKC, the best team in basketball. First time the entire season they're going to have Hartenstein and Holmgren together. Toronto is, kind of in shambles right now with, missing some pieces without Pirtle, without Barrett, with Ingram and Root whenever he's healthy. The Magbo Boucher thing is, I think Magbo is more likely to close if this game is ugly than Boucher. Now, I'm not saying they both won't, but I think it's more likely that Magbo could still close. And maybe it's neither, but it's not going to be quickly. It's not going to be Dick. I don't think it's not going to be Barnes. So I'm kind of working back their way. I guess maybe they played some Garrett Temple. I don't know why, but whatever. Shed would play. Agbaji would play. Jameson Battle would almost definitely be a closer. I'm not playing him, I don't think, but just trying to figure out who's out there and just how many guys are claiming those spots. I'm probably going to have one of Magbo or Boucher in every lineup, though. I think I'm going to have one of those, and I don't think I'm going to cap it. But again, now this Milwaukee stuff, it might be blowing up my 2 in every lineup for Cleveland and Washington. Eventually, we're going to run out of spots. We do have LaMelo in for Charlotte, so that hurts Charlotte pretty significantly. So, and like I said, I'm just kind of ignoring some games like Miami and Brooklyn. But if K doesn't go, all of a sudden, I think I have to pay attention to Detroit. So SGA is amazing. Are you playing SGA? It's just going to blow out and he gets 3 quarters, and whatever he does in 3 quarters, he might put up 60 in 3 quarters.
I had more Shea this morning, more Jalen Williams this morning, more Chet Holmgren this morning. Now I'm not getting much. I think Shea's a phenomenal play. Just make sure you're running him back, and hopefully it stays close.
We got a winner, by the way, in the Discord for today's Film Friday. Pat Connaughton also ruled out. Lillard officially in. Brooke Lopez officially in with his knee. Lou Dort is out with a back. Does that matter? It's a starter, but they're without Wallace as well. So Caruso, I don't know what's Isaiah Joe would get some more minutes. Maybe Isaiah Joe starts. I don't know if I care on this slate. Do we care? What's our first? Wiggins? Maybe Wiggins gets a bit of a boost there, but of note, that Dort is out. What's your initial reaction? We'll see what projections say, but bumps. I don't know how significant for Joe, Wiggins. I
love them prior. We have to wait till projections kind of upload. Probably go Wiggins, Caruso, Joe if I had to rank those three.
Shout out to Gregorius the Wise, who took down today's Film Friday. Bobby, I said the name of the film at least like 7 times during this show. I just flat out said it on a Film Friday.
I know you like to tease, Dean. You like to tease.
I guess we can explain. Do you want to know how we got to the answer of Film Friday?
I don't even know what the answer is.
He said he got it from my 6th clue, though.
You gave a 6th clue? What was your 6th clue?
Rebecca Black.
Oh, that's just spoon feed it to the people. Unbelievable. That's just handing it to them.
They didn't get it in the first 5. I had to.
Bobby, do you know what the movie is now? Rebecca Black? Of course, you're rocking out to Rebecca Black these days.
I'll Google it.
She's known for one song, as far as I know.
Friday?
Yeah. So what does that mean?
It's Friday, next Friday.
It's not. Yeah.
Friday
was the name of the movie. Small was in reference to, of course, Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister, the actor Zeus, who plays Debo. Yeah, I was going to say Samuel, but yeah, he plays Debo, of course, in Friday. Utensil is a reference to John Witherspoon, the father. He pops up in a lot of good things. Chill is a reference to Ice Cube. And waffle, there's different kinds of fries. You can get crinkle, you can get steak, you can get waffle fries. And by, of course, is by Felicia. That is the reference there. So I'm really surprised we didn't get there in 5. I'm shocked we kind of needed that bonus clue, which was more of a spoon feeding, but I understand Steve wanted to make sure we had this knocked out.
No, there was no clues about Smokey.
It's funny. I was trying to work Smokey in, and I think it was in my others. Because I usually have like 7 or 8, and then I kind of whittle it down. And I picked it 5.
Waffle fries Friday. I don't know. Yeah.
Friday waffle fries.
Me and a few other people in Discord in the chat thought waffle was Shrek.
Yeah.
I saw a few other people guess Shrek.
This shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed, this game.
Steve guesses Shrek, and I'm like, why Shrek? And I don't know Shrek very well. You're going to be shocked. I did see it once, though. I lost a bet, and I had to watch Shrek. But I guess the donkey likes waffles? I don't know.
I have kids in the house, so I don't blame you.
I'm giving a refresh on projections. There you go. There is the GIF. I know Crunch Time's coming in here shortly. I believe we have Noto and Beer, as well as Kevin Roth. They're going to be taking you guys home. Is there more news coming in? Donovan Mitchell expected to play with his shoulder. Yeah, they kind of gave him like a fake injury last time, just kind of a scheduled rest, it seemed like. Going to give a refresh as far as projections, Bobby. Who's breaking the slate for you?
Who's breaking the slate for me?
Not Giannis.
Not Giannis. I'm going to go. I haven't really talked. Let's go Oscar Thompson, 4,500. Give one in the mid. Spicy one.
Oscar Thompson. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Who is there a player you're most afraid of not having for whatever reason?
Bub, or being underweight on Bub.
Yeah. Are you close enough you can call him Bub?
I don't think so. What's his real name?
Carlton.
Yeah.
I want to know the backstory. How did he get from Carlton to Bub? I'm not sure the backstory of that.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I gave a refresh. We have Mogbo hitting the max of my lineups right now. Carrington hitting the max of my lineups. A lot of Diabate, which I don't really love, to be honest. Wait, hold on a second. I think we got to get.
I pick an actual player that I think's gonna. I think LaMelo, now that he's ruled in, is gonna end up breaking the slate.
I don't think he's going to be played, is he?
Yeah, he's not going to be played. Game could stay close.
Yeah, I don't think our projections have officially updated yet. We're waiting. Yeah, we're waiting for Giannis.
Jerome, who do you like better, Jerome or Carrington?
Jerome. I mean, I like them both, but again, Cleveland's down to 10, meaning Jerome will like Jerome. If you want to get goofy, you want to get spicy, like you're running 150, Craig Porter, and Jalen Tyson, like those guys are the spicy plays. Craig Porter and Jalen Tyson. That's if you're like big pool, a lot of money up top, that kind of thing. I don't think I'm getting there. They're both 3K, but there is a story where Cleveland's winning by 25 or 30, where Craig Porter, Ty Jerome, and Jalen Tyson to do a lot of smashing in the fourth. Gonna need those Washington updates. Typical Wizards fashion. The game starts in 32 minutes. There's 3 players that are still questionable. We don't have a starting lineup. It turns out they're the worst team in the NBA. So I don't think there's a correlation there. I think there is. I think there is a correlation for that. Crunch time again. They're coming in here momentarily. Kevin Roth. Kevin Roth said he's just jumping in, and he's in the live stream chat, and he says it was definitely Friday. So Roth knew the answer.
Were you besmirching him, Dean, earlier?
No, that's the opposite of a besmirch. Roth was all over it. He was saying he looked at the clues and he said, "Yeah, it's got to be Friday."
What about the Thompson comment?
The All-Star Thompson comment? What did he have to say?
Klay Thompson put it all in Roth's face.
Well, yeah, he admitted to that. Yeah, he admitted that for sure. I've spoken poorly about Klay as well. These days, he's not that good anymore. He's just kind of a name brand at this point. But every once in a while, he has that game where he absolutely does fully smash. I'm waiting for crunch time. I'm waiting for the sign that crunch time is here. They're not here just yet. Are we having a late arriving crunch time? I think that's what's happening here. All right. Looks like they all fully assembled. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's bring in crunch time right now. Shout out to Kevin Roth for getting the Film Friday correct today. You saw the 5 clues and you knew it?
I mean, weren't there? There was 6. One of them was just the name of the movie, so that made it pretty easy.
Wait, that wasn't the clue. Where was that?
Wasn't it like Rebecca Black or whatever?
Well, producer Steve. He just gave it away at the end. That wasn't my clue. He went rogue.
Okay, well, that's the one. When I saw that, I was like, well, that's obvious,
Yeah.
She has one song. It's called Friday.
I thought we were going to get there before that, but Steve's like, we got to hurry it up.
To be fair, I feel like not a lot of our viewers would know that.
That's true.
But they have the Google machine, like Bobby. Bobby just cheated and he typed it in. He's like, all right, that got me home. By the way, I see Beer today. Let's do a little synergy. Let's tell the people. Earlier today, Beer and Maddock, Davis Maddock, and Shop did a football show for the big game. So if you're playing in those streets, watch that video. Watch that show. Beer, I caught a good chunk of it. Do you want to give the people? I know right now we have a poll now. Who's going to win? The Eagles, the Chiefs. You want to give the people a tease? What was like one of your hottest takes? I think P-Ron was somebody you were pushing for the people.
I would say P-Ryan, and I think we get a rise from the grave of DeAndre Hopkins, and nobody's going to have him. So those are my 2. And all the public money seems to be on the Eagles, so we should know what to do here. We got the refs on our side. We got T Swift on our side. I know everyone's hating the Chiefs, but I think they 3-peat. Yeah, it was a fun show. Went about an hour, talked the DFS slate, talked some of our favorite props, some off-the-wall props, and some game predictions. So go check that out.
Yeah, that's why you turn on the notifications. I love that the public says 2 things. They say 2 things. 1, I want to bet the Eagles, and 2, it's rigged for the Chiefs.
Right, bet the Chiefs. Stop bitching about it and bet the Chiefs.
It turns out the public, maybe not that sharp. But all right, we got anything else, Bobby? Before we step aside and get out of here,
That's it.
that was Bobby Gomes. I was Dean. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time, and it's not just any old crunch time. This is an OG crunch time right now. I've been at RotoGrinders for 10 years, and you guys were both there, I think, before I got there.
Oh, yeah.
So between the three of us, like, we have literally 3+ decades of RG
About
experience.
50 years combined here, I would say.
Yeah, that's wild, man. It's fun to have a little OG show. We'll start by bellying up to the fantasy bar, saying hello to tonight's beast of the night. It's Beer in the house. Beermakersfan. What up, Beer?
Now, if I had to have a beast on this panel, it's my boy Noto. He would instantly be the beast, be about 15,000, and you'd have to find some value to fit him in. So good to be back here with my guy, Roth. You, as always, love doing shows, and the people look like they're already woofing in the chat. So ready to get rolling here.
Love it, man. Chat's fired up. We do have kind of a limited time here. We got like 27 minutes until locked already, so we'll dive right into it. First, though, say hello to my guy, Noto. Multi-sport guru. I know you're deep in the PGA streets, deep in the NFL, but also you love some hoops, and you can hoop, by the way. You are a hooper certified. What up, Noto?
Yeah, I think the first time we met was at that 3-on-3 tournament, and you weren't too happy with me.
No,
got falling for
beat me
those
up.
pump fakes.
Bodied me, deed me up. Yeah, the man can hoop, no doubt. Guys, I could reminisce. We could chat all day, but we got to get the content out. So let's dive right into it. We're getting some breaking news. Baselli is out. We had there was another one that just Champagny out. Washington maybe down to 8 people. Brogdon is out. So we've got pieces moving here. Beer, you want to start things off with maybe either an overview, or you can just dive into it. FanDuel, point guard. What do you like?
I mean, there's some good value at point guard. I mean, you can always spend up. I really like LaMelo Ball if you're spending up. I worry a little bit about SGA and that game getting out of hand, but I think the value here is what you're after. I mean, you mentioned Washington going to be down some bodies. Carrington looked good the other night. I know it's been a roller coaster, but a great price on him. And, in that game, Cleveland likely, I mean, they're 17.5 point favorites. So I think you could get potentially some blowout run for Ty Jerome, who's seemingly in the rotation anyway. But if this game gets out of hand, he's a guy that could play some big minutes. So Jerome, Carrington for value, and LaMelo Ball probably my favorite at the top if you're spending up.
Okay, Noto, you got a few names at point that you like over there on FanDuel?
Yeah, I like all the guys Beer mentioned. Definitely like Damian Lillard. Nice matchup against ATL. Giannis is out, so anytime he's out, I think Middleton's out too, which is always a big boost for the usage of Lillard. So I like him quite a bit. I have him tagged right now over on FanDuel. Might end up tagging him on DraftKings as well. But I really like the Ty Jerome call, like Beer mentioned. I mean, great matchup against Washington. Could see some extra run if that game turns into a blowout. And even if it doesn't, I mean, he's a guy that's still going to get 25-plus minutes.
Yeah. Javier in the chat says minutes on LaMelo. It looks like we've got him at 31. Is there upside there, or is there like a hard minutes cap on this dude?
Who, me?
Yeah, sure. Noto.
I don't think he'll play more than that, just since he hasn't played in a little bit. And, for last time he came back, they kind of eased him back.
Okay, good stuff. Let's kick it to shooting guard. Noto, you can lead us off there.
Yeah, so not my favorite position. Spend up for Donovan Mitchell, certainly a good matchup against Washington, but like I mentioned, that game could easily get out of hand. I kind of like spending down on FanDuel. You got Jacoby Walter for Toronto. He's going to get some garbage time if that game gets out of hand. Charlotte's short-handed every single slate, so Nick Smith's a guy that I don't mind looking to. Tournaments, you can go to Jordan Poole, maybe Tyler Hero. That's pretty much it for me.
Okay. Beer, you got some favorites at shooting guard? Kind of you feel similarly, not your favorite spot?
This spot is nasty. I mean, we gotta throw one out. This will be the one. So shooting guard, definitely a spot. You could risk it with a Donovan Mitchell and hope Washington keeps us close. I don't think that happens. So it's not my favorite spend up, but I get it. I like some of the same values that Noto mentioned. I think Walter, projected for 28 minutes. That's solid at 4,100. So he's a guy you can look at over on FanDuel. Nick Smith, we are worried about LaMelo Ball. And even in 30 minutes, I still think there is upside. So I'm going to answer your question as well. A little bit risky, but that may keep the ownership down a little bit on LaMelo Ball. So Smith certainly in play. Other than that, there's not a lot I love. I mean, I don't mind a Grady Dick, a Tyler Hero, but this is just an ugly position. So when that happens, generally I'm looking to save some money. So Walter, probably my favorite out of this cheap group.
I'm seeing some other cheapies, Agbaji, Matthews. Any interest in those guys, or you really prefer Walter if you're punting?
Walter's my favorite. Abaji would probably be next. Matthews makes me a little nervous, but he's in the conversation. We'll say that, but he would be third on that list.
Okay, good stuff. Let's go to small forward. Beer, you get to lead us off there.
All right, this position a little bit better than shooting guard, obviously. So I'm going to go to Washington with Keyshawn George. They're just down so many bodies. He's going to have to play some serious minutes tonight. So I think he's probably the best value at this position. Other names, Jordan Tyson might get some extra run. So you're going to hear a lot of Cleveland. These guys may get some extra run. So I don't know that I would load a ton of these guys in the lineup, but take your chances on the Jeromes, on the Jordans. Other guys, Kuzma's interesting. I want to see what this looks like without Giannis. I like Lillard. We'll get to Bobby Portis, obviously a favorite, but we have Kuzma projected for 32 minutes. They're not going to ease him in, apparently, without Giannis. So he could be a guy you could take a shot on. Good price there. And I really like the fit for him in Milwaukee.
Okay, very good. Noto, some of your faves there as small forward.
I think Barry covered it pretty well. Ugly position, not as ugly as shooting guard. A couple other guys I would look to in tournaments, Miles Bridges. Still don't know, how many minutes LaMelo is going to play. And he's just been eating up the usage. Brandon Miller's still out. They still missing a bunch of guys. Then Jalen Williams, kind of the cheapest we've seen him in a while. And still capable of 50-plus fantasy points. I know we're worried about a blowout in that game, but matchup against Toronto is always something I like looking to. And matchups are so tough or blowouts are so tough to predict. Anytime you kind of play into it, it kind of ends up backfiring. If this game stays within 15, you should still get full complement of minutes. So I like him. But, I don't remember any other slate that's had at least 6 games where not one small forward has a positive RG value. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the blowout thing. Last night, everybody thought that Dallas was going to get blown out, right? They were playing the Celtics, and they ended up doing the blowing out, right? It is, you can never really bank on those blowouts for sure. Let's go to power forward, Noto. What are we doing there?
All right. Sorry, got sidetracked. Putting some golf over here. Bobby Portis, lock and load play for me. No Giannis, great matchup against Atlanta. I think you play him in your single entry lineup, probably play him overweight in tournaments too. After that, you can go with Mogbo. I always like Bam Adebayo. For tournaments, Wembanyama is always viable. He's one of those guys that he can get you a 70, 80. He could also get you 40. So not going to make my single entry build. And then large field stuff, I always like Chris Boucher, just a guy we've been playing for as long as we've been around. It seems like good per minute producer. And I think you could get some extra run if the game blows out.
Okay. I always love Wemby on FanDuel in particular because he can get like 10 stocks. And it's not even sarcastic. It's not even outrageous to think he could get 10 steals and blocks. Beer, you got some favorites there, power forward?
I love Wemby tonight. I get the concerns from Noto. I certainly understand that. Fox there now, another guy that's going to take up some usage. But think about what Anthony Davis did to this team. Kind of a similar archetype to Wemby, that long athletic. And he did whatever the hell he wanted to do. And that could have been partially Mark Williams' lack of defense. But, they don't have a lot of bodies to run at him tonight. So I think Wemby, a fantastic play. I mentioned George from Washington. He's power forward eligible over on FanDuel. I don't mind the Bam Adebayo call. The Toronto guys they worry me a little bit that I think they're all just going to kind of play their 20, 22 minutes. And so I'm going to take shots on them. I haven't taken a strong stand on, is it Boucher? Is it Mongbo? So, those guys I want to mix in, but I'm not going out of my way to get those guys if it makes sense. But Wemby for sure is my favorite here. And this is one we've saved at other positions. This is one I want to spend on.
Yeah. Okay. And then that makes things a little interesting going to center because already in the chat, people are saying, I want Embiid. Give me Embiid over Wemby. You probably can't get both. And if you do, you're punting like everywhere else. What are you doing at center, Beer?
I think it's possible to get both. There is enough value out there between Washington, between taking some of the Cleveland guys. I think you can make it happen. I'm not going to argue against Embiid. Now, I don't know that he plays the amount of minutes that we saw last game. I know they're really trying to manage that. So I don't know that we get the same level of upside, but I get why people want to go there. Bobby Portis, I didn't mention in power forward. Noto named him. Definitely in play. I mean, we saw a massive game the other night without Giannis. He's always a guy that's going to put up numbers when Giannis is on the pine. And then the other Vukovic for Washington. We'll keep an eye on Rashawn Holmes. I don't know if that news came out yet, but this is a guy near minimum price that could play some big minutes. That, again, a lot of people aren't excited to play these Washington guys, but if I can get a guy that cheap playing that many minutes, he's in play as well.
Okay. Noto, do you prefer punting here and saving money, or the chat is telling me I'm an idiot and you can easily get both? Wemby and Embiid, not even difficult to get them.
Gotta
both.
love the chat, man.
Yeah, they come with the truth. That's fine. What are you doing at center, Noto?
Okay, so Butthole Jenkins out here saying we can get Lillard, Wemby, and Embiid. So I haven't tried that build yet, but I'm prioritizing Lillard over the two bigs. Can't remember what happened yesterday, so let alone 3 days ago. Did the Sixers game go into overtime? How come Embiid played season high in minutes?
I don't know if it went to overtime. I'm pretty sure it was a close game. It was surprising to see him play that many minutes, to be honest. So that's why I say I think he's closer to 30 here, and he can still do a ton of damage, but I don't know that we get the 36, 37 minutes that we saw.
Yeah, that's surprising.
No OT for what it's worth. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if we can get 34, 35 minutes, I love Embiid. He's probably got, I don't know, I'd say slightly higher floor than Wemby, but Wemby's probably got the higher ceiling right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other guys you want to throw in there? Maybe somebody you're punting to?
Just the guys I mentioned at power forward, Portis, Boucher, probably not taking a chance. One guy that I don't mind on Washington, I can't remember, I don't know how to say his last name, Vukovic.
The other Vukovic.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Val's out, Holmes. There's no reason for them to play Holmes a bunch of minutes. They're trying to lose. Might as well get some young guys some run. So I don't mind him. I like him more a little bit on DraftKings, but 3,900 is not too bad.
Okay, very good. Let's see. Holmes has to dress to make it 8 and is ill. So Dean says I'd be on high alert if he doesn't start. So he might literally just be dressing to sit on the bench because they literally need him to. That's interesting.
So this Vuk kid could play 30 minutes. I mean, they don't have a ton of bigs. I mean, they're already missing a few, the trade of Joval. So, if Holmes is in there, I'm not as excited about him. If he's out, though, I think Vuk's a viable play.
Okay.
Hopefully,
viable or like you're playing him?
I mean, it depends. Are you building a Wemby Embiid lineup? Then you don't have room for him. If you're loading up on Lillard and Fox and some of the guards, and you need cheap savings there. So it just depends on your build.
Yeah. Man.
Hopefully Holmes is active, but Vuk starts. And then we could just see Holmes just getting dressed and not seeing any minutes.
Right. That would be telling. All right. Well, we will certainly monitor that. Beer, I want you to think long and hard about your favorite beers. It can be type or brand. While I read this promo, and I will come to you. You look like you already know the answer. You're
I'm ready. That's the easiest question I've ever answered on here.
All right, let me hit these promos real quick. First, want to make sure that you're crushing it in prop pools, whatever you're doing for the Super Bowl. You get an edge on sportsbooks for the big game. We'll try the props and pick 'em for a discount right now. The props and pick 'em package features daily prop picks and fantasy pick 'em selections from a lot of your favorite RotoGrinders experts. You're looking at a few of them right now. We're knocking 50% off the price of your first month when you sign up with the link below. So now is the time to get in. The Super Bowl props are crazy. There's all kinds of wild stuff you can bet on. So make sure you're doing that. Beer, with that out of the way, your favorite beverage. Hit me with it.
I'm seeing some Miller Lite, some Budweiser in the chat. And those were in the early days of beer when you're struggling in college and you get the old dirty 30.
You got a little cash now.
Right. You're struggling a little bit, but now we can go a little higher shelf. So I have one local beer. So this is only going to apply to Michigan. Some people may know it. The brewery's growing. The brewery is Old Nation Brewing, and the beer is called M43. It's a New England IPA. Absolutely fantastic. And then I'm going to give you for the winter. So, some of us like Noto struggling. It's cold, it's snowing, it's icy. Sometimes you want that dark beer. Bourbon County out of Chicago is one of my favorite barrel-aged stouts. So not much Coors, Miller, Budweiser these days. A lot of barrel-aged stouts, stuff you can age. I age it in the basement. Got a whole shelf of beers. You can let them sit, some of them for 10 years and age like wine. we're pulling some of those out for the Super Bowl this weekend. Got a poker game going. So, but M43, if you can find it and you enjoy the style, New England IPA, a little juicier, a little sweeter, not as bitter as most IPAs. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, I'm so glad I asked you. It was like someone asking me about weather. You just went
Right.
on
Oh yeah,
beer
now we're in my
tangent. I love
wheelhouse. Yeah, if we had a beer show weekly, then I'd really be in my wheelhouse.
I would join you. I would drink 12 Pacificos while we did it. Hey, let's kick it over to DraftKings here because we got to get some people some plays. I don't know if it's particularly different over there, but Beer, start us off at point guard on DK.
It's pretty similar over here. Again, I think value is fantastic here with Carrington and Jerome. I know Noto a little hesitant on ball, but I still like him. I think De'Aaron Fox is in play here against the Charlotte defense. So it's a matter of do you want to spend? Do you want to save? I think you have options at both price points. Cade Cunningham would be interesting if he's in. I don't know if we've gotten that news yet, but that's another high-end spend. But I like the value here with Carrington and Ty Jerome.
Okay. Someone in chat, and I haven't confirmed this, but says Cade has not been seen at shoot around. So that is... Let's say Cade is out. First, Noto, if Cade is out, is there somebody that you're like, okay, this is the dude who I want? And then just run me through your point guard thoughts.
Yeah, Cade's out. I don't even know. We get a bunch of Malik Beasley, maybe Sasser.
I think Sasser at point guard would become right there with a Carrington, and I'm going to add Arthur Thompson to this as well. It's starting to trend back to some of the stuff we saw last season.
Okay.
It's already too much value. I'm just hoping he plays,
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. What are you doing at point?
Same guys with Beer. Love Carrington. I like Lillard again. I just think without Giannis, without Middleton, I think it's a really good spot for him. So those are going to be my two favorites for sure.
Okay. How about shooting guard?
Yeah, so Carrington is nice because you can play him on a shooting guard. He's only 3,300. He's kind of the obvious free square for me right now. But if you want to get a little different, De'Aaron Fox, I don't think a lot of people are going to play him. Put up 57 in his first game with the Spurs. Never scared of a matchup against the Hornets. Outside of that, I don't know if Washington's going to be way shorthanded. Maybe Corey Kispert gets a bunch of run. He's a guy that can put up some big numbers if he gets hot. We haven't projected for 32 minutes at 12% ownership. I kind of like that.
Okay, I'm seeing Holmes is starting here, according to TJ. So
I think that's actually good news. I don't want to play Holmes. This could be he starts, and all this is going to help us do is keep the ownership down on Vuk. Now that Holmes is starting, it's not as obvious of a play. So I still think Vuk is the play. I may be wrong. Holmes he got over his illness. He plays his 24, 25 minutes, but there's enough minutes at minimum price for Vuk if you want to go cheap there.
Okay. By the way, Noto got some folks in the chat. Doug says, hey, Noto, just want to say I love your grind downs from back in the day.
Absolutely. And I loved his answer. He was on a show and he was asked, are you want to bring that back? You want to do it again? It was an immediate hell no.
Yeah, but the game has changed so much that now there's so many people out. By the time Noto's halfway through with the article, he's got to redo the whole damn thing because so many people are out.
We had to add like a page to constantly update it, and then it was just a real mess. So
I get frustrated with the 6-pack when I have to replace like one guy out of 6. Noto's talking about 350 guys and trying to juggle all that.
Yeah.
So
in the early days of RotoGrinders, I'd be doing a baseball grind down and an NBA grind down the same day. It was
brutal.
How long to write those? I don't know that I've ever asked you this.
It was like 30 minutes a game. But when it was overlap with baseball, it would just be, I don't even know how many mistakes I'd make. It would just be fast I could type.
Nice 13-game NBA or 15 MLB games. Like, man, that's some dedication, man.
That's a lot, man. Okay, let's go to shooting guard. Beer, your thoughts there. We've got still 10 minutes until lock.
A lot of the same names, Noto brought. Carrington's nice, where you can still plug in a point guard, still play him at shooting guard. Washington in general, he mentioned Kispert and Koulibaly in play here as well. Gary Trent could be interesting if Milwaukee needs some offense. And then Dyson Daniels, a guy that's really been growing on me. You talk about he racks up them ancillary stats. And no, Jalen Johnson is big for him offensively. Yes, you have Trae Young, but we're seeing him do a little bit more. So he's in play kind of in that mid-range, which likely goes overlooked tonight. If you want to be different, build a nice balanced lineup because you're going to see a lot of stars and scrubs tonight.
Yeah. This is unrelated, but I'm seeing a lot of people say, I can't wait for baseball to come back. I'm warning you all now. The Tampa Bay situation with them playing outside is going to be a daily shit show with the weather.
Absolutely.
I mean, every day is going to be a nightmare. So be prepared. Just get ready now. It's going to be terrible.
What do you mean by that?
There are thunderstorms in Tampa literally every afternoon.
Okay. Nice.
And you can't really predict where they're going to go. So it's going to just be a total, every single day is going to be yellow orange in Tampa.
And am I wrong here? I lived in Florida for a while, but up in the Panhandle, but we would either get storms that are there for like 15 minutes and they're gone, or it could be 2 hours. And it's really tough to tell which one it's going to be.
That's 100%. There's no real way to time those or track those out. So that should be fun. Anyways, we can deal with that when baseball starts. Right now, we want to deal with small forward beer.
Small forward. Let me get back to my page here. So, hold on. Lost my spot here. I had my names written down. Again, a lot of the same names of Washington. Kispert, good value. George, good value. Koulibaly, if you want to spend a little bit more. Agbaji is small forward eligible here. So that's intriguing. Our projection at 26 minutes on him. Walter, another guy you can spend or save on. So another spot. I think shooting guard, small forward. Good spots to save. If you did want to spend, I'm going to go back to Kuzma. I think this could be, without Giannis, he's going to have to do a little bit more. And I don't know that he's going to have a ton of ownership.
Okay, fair enough. Noto, your thoughts at small forward?
Same thoughts as Beer. Only other guy I would mention, large field stuff, Max Strus, 4,500. He's going to get a bunch of open looks against Washington. Just ran the optimal. We have 4 Wizards and 1 former Wizard that was just traded to the Bucks. And our guy Vuk is landed in DK Optimal right now.
There you go.
Okay, very good. Power forward, Noto, what are you doing there?
Yeah, locking in Bobby Portis, 5,500 for him with the per minute production and the start. Good enough for me. Don't mind Mogbo, George. That's pretty much it. I like Nikola Jovic is a guy that I liked him more early in the day. I need to untag him real quick. But, yeah, he's been good when, like, minutes in the high 20s, and now we have him projected for 30s. So for large field stuff, I think he used to look his way.
Okay. Let's see. Beer, that takes us to your thoughts there at power forward, and then I've got a question at center, but I'll let you go through power forward first.
Agree on Portis, who you can play at power forward or center. So you're nice to have that flexibility with him. You have the Toronto guys. Again, I worry a little bit that they're kind of eat into each other a little bit. I prefer Boucher by a slight edge. Don't mind the Jovic call at all. Kuzma, again, you can slide over to power forward here. And then Evan Mobley. I mean, who's going to slow him down from Washington? So anytime the blowout is a concern, ownership tends to trend down a little bit. Certainly a concern, but he should eat big time against this interior.
Yeah. All right, let's go to center. I had some folks say, should I not like Embiid without Cade? Am I being crazy thinking that? Essentially, I guess this is a blowout angle concern there, Beer.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gets a small downgrade, but if he's going to play his, say, 30 minutes, it almost takes the blowout out of the question. Right. He's going to play his 30, 32 minutes, and we're not worried about the fourth quarter. So a little bit of a downgrade, but I wouldn't go over. If you like him, you like him for those 30 minutes. So he's in play. Vuk, I really like. 3.9 is over on FanDuel. He's cheaper here on DraftKings. So if you're going cheap, he's the way to go, in my opinion, over Rashawn Holmes. And then Wemby. I'm loading up here. I don't know who's going to slow him down here on the Charlotte interior.
Nobody is the answer. Noto, your thoughts at center?
Yeah, I might have to play Wemby over Embiid now. I can't be the only one not playing Wemby tonight. He's like the scariest guy to fade on every slate. If you don't have him, it's either if he busts, you're looking good, and if he crushes, you're not looking good. So, like Wemby, I'm fine with Embiid. Obviously, like Vuk and Portis. And I agree. I think Holmes is going to be my fade of the slate.
Okay. Good stuff, guys. So we've got 4 or 5 minutes until lock, which is perfect. We're going to open it up for some QQs, and I'm going to start, as always, in the RG Discord. And I'm going to add that if you haven't hit the thumbs up for these OGs, please do so. Like and subscribe. This is free content with 2 of the literal sharpest and long-lasting minds in daily fantasy sports. So make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let's see what we got. FanDuel Cash. Beer, this is for you. It's a 3v3. Dyson Daniels, Jalen Tyson, and Kuz. or Poole, George, and Koulibaly?
I'm going with the second one. The first one a little risky. Probably in tournaments I would prefer that one, but Tyson still, we don't know that you're really leaning on a blowout. I like that second combo. Washington, we know these guys are going to have to play minutes, so give me that combo.
Yep. Okay. D-Rock says, Noto, in a DKGPP, do you prefer Kuz and Vuk or Jerome and Risache?
Yeah, first one for sure.
Okay, no hesitation. Beer, who's blowout proof for the Wiz? Is there someone on that team where you're like, he's getting minutes, whether it's tight or whether they lose by 30?
I think they're all blowout proof with only 8 guys. I mean, I think Poole is probably the biggest risk that would sit down, but the rest of these guys, especially the bigs, are going to have to play. So I wouldn't really worry about that with a lack of bodies. They're all going to have to play 28, 30, 32 minutes.
Okay. Shout out to Judy, who is making me feel a little better about the Rays. She says most Rays games will be at 6:40, so hopefully they will not be on the main slates. I like that. I sure hope that is the case. Let's see. Thoughts on Anthony Gill? Noto, you get any Gill?
So much value on the slate. I don't think you need to get there, but I only build 1 or 2 lineups a night. I don't build 150.
Yeah. Okay. Matt Smith says, Beer, DK cash question. We've got 2-3 minutes into lock here. Kispert or Kaishan?
Kaishan.
Okay. Brian Marshall says, Noto, DK GPPs, Trey Young over the other point guards. Is Trey your favorite spend up at point in a GPP?
I mean, I still like Lillard. I think you can differentiate elsewhere, but if I'm getting unique, I'd probably go Fox.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Here we go. Jim says, Beer, Jovic and Risache for value in a DK GPP.
I like them both. We didn't mention Risache. I really like him. His game continues to evolve. The minutes have been there for him. So I would go Jovic over Risache, but I think both are in play. And then Osur Thompson is in that same boat. We didn't talk a whole lot about him, but I like him as well.
Okay. Hammer says, Beer, Noto, and Roth, who at RG could beat them 3-on-3 in basketball?
Nobody. The old Vince Carter. It's over. Yeah. It's over.
You could pick any 4 people from RotoGrinders, and they would not beat the 3 of us. So
TJ wants some smoke.
Go ahead, TJ. You pick whoever you want, and I'll give you Meansy too. I'll give you the former basketball player known as Andy Means.
Meansy didn't even play the last 5-on-5 tournament we had.
No, Meansy hasn't dribbled a basketball in 20 years. he graduated Duke and never dribbled again. Let's see.
Ooh, Kyle might be good. I don't know if Kyle can play.
Yeah, Kyle looks like a little athlete. He could be good. I'll still put us 3 against anybody. So
yeah,
we got to bring the RG party back. Get some hoops going.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a debate. Let's see. We've done the things we came here to do. We actually answered all the questions. Make sure you hit us with that thumbs up. We are seconds until lock. I will close it out with this. Who's your favorite spend up on the slate? Beer?
Wemby.
Noto?
Lillard.
Okay, there you have it. Hey, everybody, enjoy the big game on Sunday. We mentioned that, Beer, you just put out a video, right? It was video content?
Yeah, we did. We talked, it was almost an hour on almost everything in the game, all the cheap pieces, the defenses, the kickers, ways to get different, captain plays, prop bets, spreads, totals. So we hit it all in that one. So, yeah, check that out. Scores and odds. There's already, I think, 16 picks up on the game. I'm going to add a bunch there. As well. So it was a fun show. Make sure you guys go check that out for sure.
Okay. Make sure you're doing that. Signing up for Scores and Odds as well. Was this 3rd or 4th week in a row, will be hammering the idea that Kansas City is not good and they should not be favored. Now, every time I've said this recently, they have made me look like an ass.
Yeah, that doesn't work out generally.
I'm saying it again. They're not good. And the Eagles are going to roll. It's going to be like a 15+ point victory.
I might have to slide into the Roth DMs and get a little.
I'll take some bets. I'll take some bets with personal friends. That's it. We hit the lock. Noto, Beer, good stuff, man. It's good working with you guys.
Great time.
Yeah, this was fun. I think we're scheduled again maybe in 2 weeks. I know the NBA All-Star break is coming up, but always a pleasure doing a show with you guys. And the chat was awesome. Some great questions, great comments. We got to talk some beer. We got to talk some football. And knock out the basketball slate. So I would say in the 27, 28 minutes that we were here, we got a lot done.
We delivered. Yeah, we our
Absolutely.
points per minute here. We
Yes.
absolutely delivered. We're good RG value rankings here. We're going to bounce out for Noto and for Beer, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.